A woman's wedding night is typically remembered as the happiest night of her life. A woman will wait her entire life just for this one day. Hi, I'm Abby Kite, and today I'll be informing you of different wedding cultures around the world. Countries will celebrate their special day in many, many different ways. Not all wedding cultures and traditions will relate back to our traditional American way. America's wedding is usually the unition of two people under God. The Chinese wedding is more reserved, and it usually involves an arranged marriage. India is more of a cultural event that will last for several days. Weddings show different cultures of each country and what they represent. In any culture, the wedding is a special occasion, for it represents love and happiness. First, let's discuss the typical American wedding. A veil, a bride, and a white dress are things that you may think of whenever you think of the traditional American wedding. The bride and groom will typically pick out most of the details of their wedding together. Nights before the wedding, the bride will choose her closest friends and family to help her pick out her wedding dress. The wedding dress will usually be white to represent the innocence of the virgin bride. This wedding, unlike some traditions, will last one night. It can be held at many different places, a chapel, different venues, or even outdoors. The bride and groom will typically exchange vows to show their acceptance and love for one another. It is common for a preacher to recite Bible verses at Christian weddings. The after party will usually consist of food, dancing, drinks, and music. After the after party is over, the couple will usually scurry into a car and leave for their honeymoon to spend the first few nights alone. With every wedding tradition, there will be quirky traditions. Something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue is usually considered good luck to have on your wedding night. The bride and groom usually will not see each other before their wedding ceremony because it is considered bad luck. Now let's move on to a more unfamiliar topic, the Chinese wedding. Unlike the American wedding, the bride and groom will usually have not met before the day of their wedding. These weddings usually will have an arranged marriage involved. Days before the wedding, the closest friends and family will usually go to a fortune teller to determine if the love will last between the new bride and groom. The wedding date could also be chosen by this fortune teller. The Chinese bride will typically have 3 costume changes throughout the day of her wedding. First, she will have a more slim fit red dress. Then she will change into a more obvious white wedding gown. Then by the end of the night, she will change into a more relaxed cocktail dress. The night after their wedding, the bride and groom will typically sleep in an unused bed to represent innocence and their new life that they will spend together. Tea is a very important part of the Chinese culture, so they incorporate it into their weddings as well. Nights before their wedding, the bride and groom will typically share tea with their parents to show their love for them. In the groom's tea will usually be 2 red dates to represent the bride and the groom, and many lotus seeds scattered in the tea to represent the children. Now we will move on to a more cultural wedding, the Indian wedding. The Indian wedding is full of vibrancy and culture. The guests themselves will actually wear more vibrant clothing, and the bride will usually wear a red dress accented with white and gold. Nights before the wedding, the bride's closest friends and family will paint what they call mehndi on her hands and feet. These essentially fake tattoos will consist of intricate designs that the bride will wear on the day of her wedding. Another tradition is yellow paste that they will put onto the bride and groom's face to reveal more smooth and vibrant skin. Not only will the bride and groom exchange rings, but they will also exchange flower garlands to show their acceptance of one another during their ceremony. After the ceremony, the bride and groom will walk around a sacred fire 7 times to show their 7 aspirations they have in life with one another. After they have done this, they will go run and see who will sit down the first, and whoever wins is said to rule the household for the rest of their lives. Today I have informed you of 3 wedding traditions around the world. I informed you of the traditional American wedding, the more reserved Chinese traditions, and the vibrant culture of India. Weddings are a great way to view a country's culture because it is a celebration of love. No matter what culture or religion, a wedding is also a special occasion.